Game lab number 3 is about plotting with the shape block. Going to show you what we're after and a little bit of, a little bit of information to get you going, and then off you go. So you use the game lab, and here's the deal. I'm going to roll this down. The requirements on this assignment are this. I'm showing you right here 5 pretty typical geometric shapes: right triangle, trapezoid, diamond, parallelogram, and an isosceles triangle. Your assignment is to use the shape block and write the code for any 3 of the 5. I don't care which 3, but that completes the assignment. If you'll do 3 of the 5, that does it. You don't have to do all 5. You could write 3 separate programs. They'll be very short. That's totally fine. If you do that, you have to turn in all of the links. You'd have to turn in 3 different links on Google Classroom. You could also, in the game lab, write 1 program that would make your 3 shapes small enough to fit on the game screen so they would all appear on the same screen. So if you would rather do that, if you'd rather consolidate it into 1 program and put 3 of these shapes on the same game screen, that is okay with me. You could do it either way, whichever way makes the most sense to you. Your bonus opportunity today is to write some code that would make a cylinder, which is another fairly common geometric shape. And I've got some hints here for you. A cylinder could be made by using 2 ellipses and a rectangle. The order of the commands makes a difference, and you can work with color to make it look fairly seamless, like it isn't just 2 ellipses and a rectangle. But I would take pretty much any cylinder you can manage to do that looks kind of 3-dimensional, kind of like this, and I'll show you one over on code.org in a second. And so, yeah, I think we're okay. I was just checking something here, but I think we're okay. So yeah, let's go to work. So I'm going to hop over here and get to code.org, and let's do this. Let's start a game lab thing. And I want to first of all, I just want to show you how this shape block works. The function draw, this function draw block, we don't need it. I'm going to pull it off, drop it, get rid of it. Everything we need today is in the drawing drawer. That's where we're kind of living right now, just with the drawing commands. Background color would be up to you. You can certainly change the background color if you want to. I think maybe I will. And then things like stroke color and stroke weight, things like that are up to you. That's seriously your call. You don't have to have a stroke. You could say no stroke. You could leave those out. It doesn't matter that much. But here's what you have to do. All right, the block that we need is way down here at the bottom. All right, it says shape and just says x1, y1, x2, y2. And so here's how this thing works. I'm going to go ahead and bring it over here, and it's going to plug a bunch of numbers in there. If I run this right now, you see what it makes. It makes kind of a equilateral triangle. Here's how this thing works. I'm going to show the grid for a moment, and let's say that I want to do a right triangle. That's one of the options there. All right, so take a look. All right, I'm going to make my right triangle. I'll put a corner. What you have to do is think about where the corners of my triangle going to be. So I might make a corner of it over 200 and down 50. So this first pair of numbers, this goes x, y, x, y, x, y, and then you can expand it out if you need more. So I'm going to go over 200 and down. I got to get into that little cell there. Sometimes you just have to click in there to get going. 200 and down 50, and that's going to be the top point of my right triangle. It's going to sit right about there. Oops, I'm sorry, right about there. All right, now the next point I'm going to make is going to be down here at 200, 200. So what I do now is I just hop over here and I say, okay, the next point of my triangle is at 200, 200. These work, it's like connect the dots. This is a point, this is a point, and now I need to make another point here. So I'm going to go over to about, what do we got here? And I'm using that little floaty thing to help me approximate it out. But I'm going to go over to like 300 and down 200 for my next point here. So over 300, down 200. So this is x, y, x, y, x, y, and you're defining the points, the corners of the shape that you're making. It's going to connect the dots for you, and it will. Oh, you know what I didn't do? I didn't say fill color. All right, so I'm going to throw a fill color in there, and it could be whatever color you want. All right, so let's run that program. Look, Yay. Right triangle. Cool. So this, this would be one of them. I could come up here and rename this. It would probably be a good idea to, name these so that you know what they are. So I'll just call that right triangle and hit save on that. And now you've got some options here as you proceed. If you feel like, well, you know what, I could write the commands for the other things I'm going to do just on the same program. I could keep going on the same program and just make them appear here on the same screen. That's totally fine. You know what you also could do, once I've saved that, I could remix this, rename it, just like we did with a lot of our web lab things. I could remix it and rename it and then just adjust it to make a different shape. Or if you want to, because it's not that hard, I could just go over here and say create game lab and just start a new one. I mean, it's not like it's difficult, is it? Not really. All right, so I'm going to do another one, and then I'll probably bail here because I think you're going to see how it's working. All right, so I'm going to make a light blue background. I think I'll do a stroke color. I'm going to stick with a black stroke. I think I'll do a stroke weight. Remember, stroke color and stroke weight and all that are up to you. That is your call. I am going to throw in a fill color. Let's do red. And cool. All right. Now I'm going to turn the grid on because this time I'm going to make a diamond, I think. So you know what a diamond looks like, don't you? All right, a diamond. And it wouldn't have to look exactly like that diamond, but something like that. There's a diamond. All right, cool. Well, let's try that out, shall we? I'm going to start off. I'm using the grid to kind of help me. I think one part of my diamond is going to be, and if you float this little crosshair thing over, it helps you see coordinates. So I'm going to go like over 100 and down 200. Let me bring my shape block over. And my first point is going to be 100, 200. All right. So that's here. My next point is going to be right here. So that's over 200 and down 150. You know, the numbers on that X and Y readout are a little off, but I know when I look at the grid, you can figure it out. So I'm going to go over 200 and down 150 for the second point. All right. Or I could go 100. Yeah, let's go 100. Instead of 150, I'm going to go 100, I think. All right, over 200 down to 100. And then I'm going to come over to here, which is going to be over 300 and down 200. So I'll go 300, 200. Now, I've run out of holes. Okay, well, there's a little forward arrow here, so click it twice. Boom and boom. Oops, sorry, missed. All right, so that gives me a couple more. You could have as many of those little gaps, those little holes as you want. I mean, you can get all of them you need. What do I need now? I need to go to, I'm over here, so I think I need to go to, let's see, what I'm going to do. And all right, so I think I'm going to go to over 200 and down 300. I think that's going to be my next spot. And again, here's the thing about all of this stuff. Look, that's a diamond. Yay. If you try something and it looks off and it didn't work, then adjust. Get in there and just change it up and switch a number, because this goes X, Y, X, Y, X, Y, X, Y, and I'm defining all the corners of that diamond is all I'm doing. And if you're off, then fix it. Just play with a number until you get it to work the way you want. So to finish out this assignment, and I could come up here and I could rename this, and this would be Diamond by Sam Smith. Just kidding. I'm going to go ahead and save that. And I would have to do one more, right? Which I could do. I could remix and rename. I could do create game lab. Or like I said, if you want to make them a little bit smaller and just kind of program all of them in so they fit on one screen, totally okay with me. Now, the one other thing I'm going to show you, and I'm not going to do the whole thing in this movie, but I'll just go back to my projects here for a second and just a quick peek. Pow. Here's my cylinder. All right. So, and that's how mine turned out. I made a cylinder, and really it's made of, there's an oval here and there's another oval down here, but part of the reason it's hard to see that other oval is because of blending the color in, making some colors match. And the body of it is really just a rectangle. It's just a big rectangle, right? So I'm not going to show you all the details about that. It's a bonus. You got to figure it out. But there's an ellipse up here that is wider than it is tall, and there's another ellipse down here that again is wider than it is tall, and then there's a rectangle that's fitting in there, and the order kind of makes a difference and the colors can kind of make a difference. I felt like I made mine look fairly three-dimensional. All right, well folks, that's it. That's the assignment. Game lab number 3. Off you go.